Painful Hand. The Peatland on turn 1. I'm going to keep, though. Yeah, you could also get to play on turn 1 to kill a small creature. Do you slide out Chandler if you bring in Rip? Yeah, that's kind of the plan, is like... Although, even the Surveil one's kind of nice, but yeah, sliding out the Channelers when you bring in Rest in Pieces, I think that's not that difficult to do. Like, against Dredge, my plan is something like -4 Channeler, -2 Unholy Heat, +3 Rest in Peace, +2 Gust, +1 Force. But I also might mess around with some other numbers, but that's like the general plan. All the cards that need Delirium, don't you prefer Soul Guide over Tormod Rest in Peace? No, I don't. Like, Rest in Peace is a really, really important sideboard card to be able to beat up on the food decks. And it's a lot, and Rest in Peace is a lot better than Lantern against those decks. It's like night and day, and so I think it's just fine to side out your graveyard cards for game 2. Took my Lightning Bolts. Get Overgrown Tomb. Bauble them before Inquisition for information. The Fatal Push on top. Could maybe have wait a turn. Not sure. Definitely take the Unearth over the Arcanist. Is Rest in Peace better than Stony? I think so, yeah. Like, we also have Explosives and Mishra's Bauble, so Stony's like a bit awkward in our deck, but it's not like we don't also have Graveyard Hate cards. Or sorry, it's not like we don't also have Graveyard cards, which are also awkward. Alright, I think we need to Assassin's Trophy this. Yeah, we're gonna play the Jeskai Monkey deck at some point today. Just not sure when. Why is Lantern so bad versus food? I mean, you only get 1 exile out of it, so like they're gonna, with their Oval Chase Daredevils and their Cauldron Familiars and their Feasting Troll Kings, it's like you need to continuously exile their graveyard. And just one Tormod's Crypt is not going to be a good exchange for you. Like, Rest in Peace is so much more impactful against that deck. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad card versus food, but it's like much worse than Rest in Peace, I think. Mardu Monkey? Sounds kind of interesting. I think of Karmic Guide as recruiter target in the Herder deck. I'm working on a couple Karmic Guide Imperial Recruiter decks that, like, specifically it's kind of cool. Is it Draw Step? One thing I like about Karmic Guide is you can Recruiter for Karmic Guide and Safi, and then that's a combo with a Sack Outlet. Skelly. Alright, well, not much to do here. Why did they push Goyf instead of Ragavan? I mean, Goyf is pretty big. Don't think it's crazy to push Goyf instead. Like, they probably also have like Lightning Bolts in their deck that can deal with Ragavan and not Goyf. I don't think I need to get another red source for Kroxa when I have the treasure token here. What are my thoughts on the cat combo plus Ragavan deck Zanside has been playing? I haven't seen it. I don't know what it looks like. Doesn't sound like it's necessarily good. I feel like the Saheeli combo doesn't like seem like it's a good spot for Ragavan. How would I change your Esper Blade deck if I was going to put the Sentinels in the sideboard? That's what I'm trying to figure out. But I feel like I don't want 0 Sentinels in the main deck. Well, that's a pretty damn good draw. Jeez. Think it's possible to think of a build with Ragavan, Dreadhorde, Kroxa, Dauthi? Yeah. I mean, we played against a deck like that the other day. Seems like a reasonable way to build these black mid-range decks for sure. Yeah, you can dash Ragavan from the graveyard with Lurrus. It does work. Kroxa was like probably their best draw. Having a hard time escaping though, it seems. Dragon fit in traditional Jund? Yeah, absolutely. I think you could definitely build Jund like a little more traditional with Ragavan. I think that's a fine fit. See if you find a removal spell. Do not. Do we do at least that is a spell to discard to the Kroxa. And then next turn they're dead to our Alpha Strike, right? How many monkeys are correct to play Essential Legend? I think 4. Like, the thing is, if your monkey is in play, it's like generating you advantage and you're winning the game, so it dies really often. 3 might end up being the right number in some decks, but I feel like I just want to be starting on 4. Alright, I mean, I feel like it was probably good for them to, like, bluff a top deck removal spell there, but I was probably still making the attack. I'm gonna go down on discard. I think I might still want to play 4 Inquisitions. I would like a Veil of Slumber or 2 though. I would like the extra copy of Unearth for sure in a matchup like this. Fatal Push is kind of nice, I suppose too. Do I want Voidwalker? Voidwalker I feel like is really bad against their spot removal, but it is our graveyard hate. I guess Trophy is also not that good, so I'll definitely play the push over the Trophy. Is Tourach good on the draw? Yeah, Tourach's Voidwalker's probably just better than Tourach in general here. Voidwalker sort of nombos with the Goyf. I feel like it's not a big deal. I don't like this hand that much, of course. But our opponent's also playing a red-black discard deck, so it's kind of hard to mulligan. This hand might be bad enough to mulligan, though. This hand's a bit better. Let's do this, I think. Any reason for no Ridden 6? I had Ridden 6 over Voidwalker in my first draft, but I'm not playing Ridden 6 because I feel like Voidwalker is really important as some main deck graveyard hate against the food strategies, is my current thinking. Skelemental will be pretty bad for us. Surgical Extraction, Fatal Push. Well, they should have done that in Draw Step. Surprised that's in their deck, though. What do I think of the new Enchantress decks? I think that they're okay. I think that all of their matchups are super polarized, though, where they're like pretty good against most creature decks, and they're pretty bad against like most non-creature decks, it seems. So if their hand is land Skelemental, then they have to choose between top decking a 3-drop and top decking a land for their Skelemental here. They do discard a land. Obviously, Skelemental is just like the worst case scenarios, and we don't have anything that indicates that that is their hand. Smells like Blood Moon. Yeah, Blood Moon maybe. First time I'm casting Voidwalker in Modern. That is a good draw for them. Jeez. Although if we can kill this, it's definitely something I'd be interested in Voidwalking. Although maybe they just drew a 1-mana removal spell for my Voidwalker. Seems like they did. Draw bolts. But now if we draw a fetch land, we can Kroxa. That would be a really good swing in our favor. Regular land doesn't quite do it. Alright, fetch land does. Ding, ding, ding. Any consideration for the second basic swamp so you can Lurrus and Voidwalker in the face of Blood Moon? I don't know. Second basic swamp's a bit awkward with Ragavan and Ignoble Hierarch, but definitely consideration. Wait, their last card isn't Surgical Extraction, is it? That would have been so brutal for them to draw Bolt Surgical Extraction. Just a Blood Crypt. They're top decked. Something. Dreadhorde Arcanist, which does mean that they need to chump block Kroxa. What do you feel about conventional control? I feel like it's fine. I've got an Esper control list that I've been working on. I've been working on Jeskai too. It's just very difficult to build a control deck for an unknown metagame, but I've been working on Esper's mana a bit, and I feel like I figured out a way to play Dam and Counterspell and Archmage's Charm. It's like easier to do that in... It's easier to do that in Control compared to Stoneblade since you have like less early requirements. When are we gonna see Counterbalance? Not today. Maybe this week though, sometime. Yeah, we did mulligan the last league. Played against the Domain Zoo deck twice in a row and lost both times. Is Dam really worth it? I think it is. Like, I think I really would like some sweepers in this metagame. Is what I'm thinking. But you know, what does it mean to be really worth it? Is the question I ask you. Do you think a control deck with Urza Saga, Brainstorm, Mishra's Bauble, and Lurrus in a Miracles package could make sense? I've seen some people have been trying that. It seems like there's something to that shell. Seems like there's something to that shell, yeah. Scratching Football is over with. We have so I feel like I get these kind of comments constantly, like, why aren't we playing Phoenix? Why aren't we playing the Blue-Red Ragavan deck? Why aren't we playing Rhinos? But I just hope that everybody can understand that there are so many new decks to be playing with right now that I'm not done with anything. I'm going to be returning to most of the ideas we've been playing. There's just too much for me to like focus too much on one deck at the moment. I want to be playing a wide variety of decks right now. But just because I'm not playing, you know, your favorite deck that I've been playing recently doesn't mean I'm off of it. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to return to it at some point. I think Path is better right now. I do think Path is better at the moment. Yeah, I think Path is pretty good. This hand's kind of weak, but we do have Bauble to go with Lurrus. I'm going to keep. You said just Unholy Heat when you play Delver. I totally missed the suggestion, or maybe I like skimmed over the card, but it wasn't a card on my radar until I was just going through things yesterday. Or maybe I misread it when I first read it or something. But that card is nuts. What are my thoughts on using Channeler in a Death Shadow build? I think it's good there. I think that specifically like in like Grixis Shadow it looks good. Ozymandias 17 is another, you know, Brewer MTGO user who we lost to Grixis Shadow with Channeler that he was playing in the challenge on Saturday. Looked pretty good. There's an Ignoble Hierarch on top, so this would let us go double spell next turn. And then maybe get some more mana for Lurrus. I think I might like a higher impact spell, though. Let me just get a Swamp and Inquisition. Ooh. Take Liliana, I think. Any thoughts on the rack deck with an Urza land? There's probably... I mean, the Urza Saga is just great, and... if it doesn't cost you that much to fit into your archetype, it's definitely something you probably want to consider. The Rack is definitely an interesting card to get with the Saga, of course. So they cast their Thoughtseize, they play their Concealed Courtyard, so we know that their hand is Tourach, Field of Ruin, Fatal Push, Godless Shrine. They play a tapped Godless Shrine and pass. We untap. me see what they're drawing. Stoneforge Mystic. Well, got some fatal pushes for that, so I'm gonna go Lurrus in hand. Next turn, maybe we get to go Lurrus, push Stoneforge. Do you ever look at user brew lists on stream? Yeah, I do. So for there's a channel point redemption option that I look at lists for, and then there's also I do so for $5. So they're not playing Stoneforge Mystic here, which is interesting. They're gonna hold up fatal push for the Lurrus. So if we can Inquisition the fatal push here, yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, we could also have taken the Tourach, but I think we're maybe just okay discarding 2 cards and then pushing the Tourach. Just discard Hierarch and then the other card we draw. Got a deck tech for full wagon. Keep waiting for the line to somehow get broke. Yeah, I don't think that card's very good, but could be wrong. I mean, basic forest is the kiss of death in this deck. Maybe we should just be playing the second swamp instead. I'm not sure. Maybe we could be playing more green-black filter land or green-black fast lands. Would you call this a mid-range Jund deck or more aggro stompy? I would call this a mid-range deck. Zabaz Scales. Oh, this is at random. Right. So push Bauble Hierarch Kroxa. Seems pretty good. And then don't crack the Bauble, since we want to play around discard effects. Lurrus Hardened Scales. I feel like I wouldn't play Conclave Mentor. I think that's probably not where you want to be. Like, the card is like, they have Damn, that's good. We have Kroxa to rebuild though. Yeah, I feel like I don't like Conclave Mentor. That's kind of my first thought here, I suppose. Let's go Kroxa Ragavan, I think. We have Unearth in our deck, so I'm gonna try to just leave that. We get to make them discard their Stoneforge Mystic. We're very ahead here. I kind of want a third Kroxa, maybe. Kroxa's just been, you know, especially with our like wanting to keep the Lurrus companion requirement. Maybe 3 Kroxas is good. There's also the 2 mana artifact. I can't remember the name of it, but it removes a counter from a permanent, and then you can move a counter around, and that card's really good with Urza's Saga. I think I'd play like the first copy. That's something you can play over Conclave Mentor, maybe 2 copies. Kind of would like to see at least the 3rd Ozolith in the deck. That card's very strong. Isn't Sabaz mostly just better than Arcbound Worker? Because if you play a second Legend, then you get to Legend roll and Modular. Probably want 4 Zabaz. Could be wrong. I don't love Zurin Orb. It's probably a fine target for the burn matchup. I'm not sure if it's good. I would probably play Grafdigger's Cage over Tormod's Crypt, or maybe and Tormod's Crypt. But at least over Spellbomb or Crypt, I think you should have Grafdigger's Cage as a Urza Saga target. Conduit, thank you. Yeah, Power Conduit. Play Power Conduit in this deck. Don't think I like the Rolling Vortex that much either. Seal of Fire is also kind of medium. I also don't know that you need Deicide because you have Inkmoth Nexus to beat Infinite Life. That matchup is probably not that bad. Alright, 1 game 1 here. Get to bring in our Veil of Summers. Let's see. They're black-white, so I don't think I need the Voidwalkers nearly as much. I do want the other Unearth. I do want the 4th Fatal Push probably. I probably also want to go down on discard spells. Probably want the Ancient Grudge. They're a Stoneforge Mystic deck. I feel like Voidwalker is probably not that good in this matchup. Their curve is just so low. This looks pretty good to me. Alright, those are some of my thoughts there. Oh, Hex Parasite is also a really good Urza Saga target. Maybe you should play 1 Hex Parasite. You can also get it with the Saga. I like that idea a lot. 2/4/1s with black white mana, prismatic ending being removable against aggro. Yeah, prismatic ending is really good right now. Actually, why don't I have any of my... Oh, I forgot that was something I wanted to play in my Esper control list, and then I was like the first day I played it, I didn't have access to it. And I forgot to add those to this deck, but I should be playing some prismatic endings here. Maybe ending's better than push. I'm not sure. I'll think about it some more. To play any Urza Saga list. I have an Urza Saga list that I'm excited about. I haven't posted it yet, but I might not be able to. I might not be. I don't think I'm playing it today, so I'm gonna kind of hold off till tomorrow to post about it. I think we need to mulligan this. We could maybe keep. Yeah, let's actually. This hand is like we're on the draw. This is a very grindy matchup. I think we're gonna keep this actually. Drew the land. Yeah, so I think I'd like to lead on Hierarch here. Or Inquisition's maybe... No, Inquisition's better because we don't have another answer to Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah. Which could definitely be a problem. We need to take the Fatal Push here. I'm not sure how bad Liliana's going to be for us because we can, like... We have some creatures that we can sacrifice there. No! Anything but Bitter Blossom. Anything but Bitter Blossom. Alright, so Inquisition to Liliana. Play Ragavan. Yeah, I'm pretty... I think I would want them to... I think I want them to Vindicate Ragavan, since I have 2. Seems like a good exchange for me. I mean, Bitter Blossom is very good against us, of course. Maybe I should get Stomping Ground too, because they might vindicate a land of mine, and then I can't play Hierarch. Wait, they shocking and passing? I'm not sure what exactly that says, but I'll play Hierarch, I'll attack, and then we'll go from there. If they kill my Ragavan, I'll just play another copy. If not, I'll hold up Bolts. But the Exalted lets us attack through the Fairy, which is nice. When is the correct time to dash Ragavan versus cast it? I think that you're mostly going to be dashing in like the late game or the mid to late game when you top deck. But I think in the early game you're not going to look to dash and just sink your mana into the dash. Probably drew Kaya's Guile. If they drew Kaya's Guile, sack a creature, 1/1 spirit. I think we sack the Ragavan, just play the other copy here. Yeah, also dash if you want to play around Wrath. Esperless by 4 Vindicates is for Tron on the sideboard. Yeah, it's mostly for Tron, Titan, but it's also like a flexible card you can play as well. Yeah, they should probably leave back 2 spirits. They do. Another Hierarch would be really good to go Hierarch plus Bolts. Did not draw it. Pretty sure we're just Goyfin. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Bitter Blossom is good in these kind of matchups, you know, despite the fact that I do joke about the card a lot, but it's fine here. They might die to it, of course, so it's always the risk. Vindicate plus Blood Moon seems pretty tough on mana, but it's maybe doable. I mean, they're going to chump block my Goyf. Maybe I should attack with Ragavan. Do I want to trade Ragavan for 2 tokens? I think I'll just attack with 1. She's definitely just getting chumped. But Tarmogoyf is like the anti-Bitter Blossom because it, eats a fairy token every turn. But it doesn't actually cost you a life. How do we win? I mean, we attack with the Goyfs. They each eat a fairy token at this point. We also have Lurrus, which can generate some value. Really depends on like what this card right here is going to matter a ton. Yeah, like, come on, sort of Fire Ice. Jeez, yeah. win with Bolt eventually. In theory, that was a crazy 2 cards. Land plus Fire Ice. I mean, I don't think we just lose here, but we're pretty behind. I'll be bringing in Engineered Explosives for game 3, I think. Maybe Bolt a Fairy token, then we can hit with Ragavan. Seems fine. I'm assuming they have to block both Goyfs. I mean, if this gets in for 5 damage, I'm really happy with that, I think. Because then they're just dead to any top-decked Lightning Bolt, and they can't kill me this turn. Actually, if we can deal them any damage next turn... I mean, I guess like, only Kroxa and Lightning Bolt would be possible to do that, but... Have I updated Toski Blade? I haven't. One thing I'm trying to figure out is Toski Blade with Imperial Recruiter, because you could Recruiter for Toski, and then you also have, maybe the green-white Flicker Sword. So that's something I'm working on, and that deck's been really tough to build. Now, I don't have any Kolaghan's commands, so I think our only draws here are Lightning Bolts. Although, if they don't have another creature to block, any removal spell kills them, right? Or Ragavan Dash, yeah. That's my impression of Tourach. Solid card. Only cast it a couple times so far. Okay, so now I think it's just Bolt. Let's just see what we draw. Close game, though. Oh, no, if we draw Fatal Push, actually, we just get to... Ah! I'll play the clip. That's exciting. Hell yeah. Well, it's a good sign that we beat both of the black mid-range decks, right? Like, that's a good sign for our deck. And people said we were just dead. Oh, that's the wrong soundbite. That's also the wrong soundbite. You got to penny off using Spike code? Yes. Use code SPIKE in the CFB store and help support the channel. This hand's kind of weak. I think I'm going to keep it, though. Best Fleeing Shell post MH2. Yeah, not sure about that. Another black mid-range deck. Golly. Let me just play around more discard, I think. Do I think Kodal is poorly positioned? Kodal's probably fine right now. I played Kodal yesterday, but I didn't draw it that much, I guess. But Kodal's probably fine. Dash Ragavan. Cliffs on top. Get a tapped Blood Crypt. Kind of surprised to see Dash Ragavan on turn 2. It's whatever. It's funny to play against 3 different black-based mid-range decks in a row. Oh, I should have let them hit. Sorry, this was wrong. I was supposed to let them hit me with the yeah. First time that's come up. But yeah, I was definitely supposed to let them hit me with the Ragavan when I knew I was drawing a land. Yeah. And then I get another scry. Yeah, a bit of a flood. So we'll know for that next time. This might be the first Ragavan I've played against. Incoming Blood Moon, maybe. Yeah, Black Red with Ragavan Blood Moon seems pretty good. Blood Moon specifically is a very good card right now against Urza's Saga. Grief continues to be just like the most unimpressive hyped card in the set. Obviously, I've got 4 lands in hand, but I just feel like I haven't seen Grief cast and been I've yet to be impressed by Grief. I've yet to see Grief be cast and think that's a good play. Okay, I think we take the Spyro and I don't really want to have to Assassin's Trophy the Grief, but I think we probably have to. And I'm also, I think, okay if they Ragavan me. Maybe I shouldn't be. But I feel like we're not getting I think attacking with the Goyf seems pretty good against their double bolt hand. Although maybe they'll double bolt my Tarmogoyf. Grief is good exclusively paired with Ephemerate. I don't know. I haven't even been impressed by those decks either. I do think Grief is good in Living End. I think that's where Grief shines, is Living End. Yeah, I guess now they're going to double bolt my Goyf, huh? Maybe I should have left back the guy to block. I think Subtlety is still secretly good, just not in all blue decks as most people thought. I don't know. Even in like the Bant Ephemerate deck I played yesterday, Solitude or Subtlety felt like the worst card in the deck. Maybe I didn't play against the right matchups, and I didn't have the biggest sample size either, but yeah, Voidwalker just dies to the bolt in their hand. I think I'm just going to put this here, and the next turn we can go Lurrus plus Goyf. Then his Bolt Ragavan at the moment. Grief is also good at Eldrazi Tax of Displacer. Yeah, that seems like something for sure. Although I also think Ragavan's so good. The density of black spells in that deck seems to be an issue as well, right? Right, now we can bolt the monkey. I'm gonna play this to just trade it for the bolt, since keeping it in hand turns on future top deck discard spells. Hopefully they don't draw one this turn, of course. Okay, so they're gonna... I feel like I would have used Lightning Bolt maybe over a push. I guess my life total is kind of low, but we're a Tarmogoyf deck, you know? Gonna push in beginning of combat in case they have another Ragavan in their hand. We don't want to let them also dash that. Kroxa is the best draw here, I think. Unearth is also very good to get back my Lurrus, but they would get to bolt the Lurrus, but we get a 2-for-1. They can also escape their Seasoned Pyromancer token soon, which is a bit of a problem. Seems like that might be what they're holding up here. Big draw step for us. Not a big draw. Ragavan is a damage trigger, not attack trigger. I don't know exactly what you thought I said that... Yeah, I know. I waited till the beginning of combat step to play around them having another Ragavan. Because if I killed it in their main phase, they could play another Ragavan. That's what I said. I didn't say to play around the damage trigger there. You save the land for possible discard? Yeah. That might be better. Black spells include Malika Rebirth and Wasteland Strangler plus Push. Well, the problem is Strangler is not...
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
It's so loud. The problem is Strangler is not actually a black spell. It's a devoid spell, so you can't pitch it to Grief. And, like, you need a density of black cards. Hot take, WotC banned Simian Spirit Guide because there could only be one good 1-mana monkey at a time. Too real. Too soon. Too true. Yeah, definitely feel like Voidwalker is lacking in this matchup. Maybe I just have to play one copy, though. No, Devoid is not just when it's colorless in all zones, so you can't pitch it to Grief, which is like a big issue when you're building those kind of decks, is like the density of black spells. This hand's not very good, but I'm kind of like hesitant to mulligan in this matchup, so I'm going to leave a push for Ragavan or bolt for Ragavan. Begin combat is earlier than you need to, but it probably doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? It's just the first time that it's, it just saves the most time there. So we actually have 2 removal spells for Grief here if they're planning on Malika Rebirthing or something. If they take the bolts, we can crack Bauble, have Revolt for push. If they take the push, we can bolt. So seems like they're just 2-for-1ing themselves. Grief continues to just not be impressive to me. Quatch, thank you for tier 1 sub. Appreciate you, buddy. Nice. Right, they're drawing a Blood Moon. Okay, that card's impressive to me. Blood Moon definitely a very scary card. And like maybe if we can get a Hierarch down, we could beat it. What'd they pitch? They pitched another copy of Grief. We're also just gonna lose to this Blood Moon. Dash the monkey. I guess our own Ragavans are pretty good outs to Blood Moon, maybe. Oh, they hit Bauble. This card is so good. This card is so good. Okay, well, let's see what we draw. Alright, we did draw the fetch land. Why did Grief leave the battlefield? They evoked it, which is the alternate cost. You don't just get to cast this for 0 mana, which is like what a lot of people think. Evoke is the alternate cost, which means you get the ETB ability, but then you sacrifice it also. Is what evoke means. You cast it for another cost, but there's a trigger that says you sacrifice it. So pretty big cost there. Liliana is good for them. Make me sack my goblin. If I draw a land, we can kick Tourach, though. Cool. Glad that they're playing this into push. They know I have this push, though, so maybe they have another Ragavan. Tourach would be pretty good here. Okay, cool. I can't get the basic swamp, unfortunately, but we can grab Overgrown Tomb. And then hope we just need to pray to Klothys to discard their Blood Moon. 2 out of 3 chance. We did hit. Awesome. And also, Tourach gets bigger when they plus Liliana. But I guess only if they have a card in their hand, of course. Okay, a bit of a downside here, huh? But we do get to put Lurrus in hand, attack Liliana. They can't block because Shadow Voidwalker can't block. You know, notably, just kind of when you're evaluating this card would want to block in this spot, so you know, certainly is a downside, the inability to block, of course. All right, they play a land. Ooh, Veil of Summer. So I was gonna play a Hierarch, but off of Lurrus, but I think that drawing Veil of Summer, I would just love to keep that up here. We do the Bauble does get exiled though. They're drawing Engineered Explosives, but they can't kill Lurrus because they're just 2 colors. They can kill my Tourach, but that's fine. This game really swung back in our favor. Here. So I guess what they can do is they can use Voidwalker to get either Bauble or Tourach or Hierarch, and then they can explosives. They could also Voidwalker to get Hierarch, and then next turn try to explosives X equals 3, which is probably not the line, but it's kind of funny. I feel like they should get the Bauble. They do choose Bauble. And so then now they're going to Tourach, or so they're going to explosives away our Tourach, but then we can play a second Tourach if we want to. Although if we kick it, it's only going to be a 3-power creature. All right, drawing that, I think I'll just get both Hierarchs down. Oh no, it's actually that taps us out of Veil though. Alright, just do this one. Just attack with the Lurrus. It's kind of nice that with the double Hierarch we're like have a decent chance to beat a Blood Moon. Yes, you can kicker Tourach or any kicker spell off of Lurrus. This isn't exactly the CFB article list. I changed a couple cards wanting some main deck graveyard hate. For like the food meta, so I'm playing ooh, those were a good 2 cards. So geez, those are really good. So I'm playing 2 main deck Voidwalkers now instead of just sideboarding them. What happened to my no Veil of Summer rule? Don't know what you're talking about. And into land Lightning Bolt. Let's cycle the Veil of Summer. 3rd Hierarch. I guess those are going to be decent attackers, but that was a crazy series of draws for them. You get to attack for 3. They are at 5. They have Dark Confidant in play. They probably have to block this really. Is the food gag real? It's good. Wait, double blocking? I wasn't expecting this. The food deck is a real deck. It's a good deck. I think it's not too good though. It's not. I don't feel like it's broken. All right, they're dead. No, sorry, they go to 1. They go to 1. Was not attacking when Infinite died a Confidant online? I don't think so. I don't think that was good to not attack. Oh, they also have the Spyro tokens. Right. Yeah, the deck's not broken. It's annoying to play against for sure. Like, you know, when Hogak was around, it was like a really negative thing for the format. Yeah, I forgot about the Pyro tokens. I actually top deck Spyro. Jeez. I actually really feel like the yeah, maybe we will just try to let them die to Bob here. See what we draw, especially if we draw Bolt. Yeah. Maybe it seems like the right play. Tell you Tourach is good. Tourach's good. I've been liking it. They reveal Voidwalker. Probably push that. Rude. But I feel like the Hollow One Vengevine decks are better than the Feasting Troll King, or sorry, than the slower green black based ones. I know that those decks can grind really well, but I just feel like those decks need to be more aggressive than grindy in general. I think we can pass here. How many lightning bolts do we have left? I think we have 3 lightning bolts in our deck. They could also just die here. They reveal another Voidwalker going to 1 life. This has been a great game. Probably the best game we've played all day. They should probably attack with their Bob at least. Should have pushed the Plague Engineer before choosing the type. You cannot do that. This is not a when it enters the battlefield trigger. This is an as it enters. You cannot kill this before the Engineer trigger happens. And if you try to do so, now that you know this, that's also cheating. Someone very famously, I was actually at the Pro Tour where this happened, but someone tried to kill Meddling Mage in response to Meddling Mage entering, and they were actually playing against the Meddling Mage himself. It was awesome. But he definitely knew what the card did, because the card was, you know, representing his likeness. Still get to play game 3. Slowly get a 7/6 trample on turn 2. It's a lot slower than the Vengevine Hollow One deck. It's a lot slower than the Vengevine Hollow One deck. It's not a super slow deck, but it's a lot slower. So Blood Moon's a big problem. I think that I probably need to play a couple more discard spells, maybe just 5 total. Feels a little low. Just prioritize getting the basic swamp, and then we're gonna have a hard time casting Lurrus and Kroxa and Tourach, or I guess kick Tourach, but we have Hierarchs and Ragavans to have fix our mana though. Do you not play way too many lands in this deck? Maybe we're playing like 1 too many. I feel like it's fine. Like, we've got a lot of mana sinks in Kroxa and Lurrus and Ragavan. I feel like it's fine. If anything, it's like maybe 1 too many lands. I do not feel like it's way too many lands in this deck. Wasn't it Path to Exile? I thought it was Fatal Push, but maybe I'm misremembering. I'm sure I am. It's been a while ago. We could have land for Wrenn and 6. That's true, yeah. That probably comes at not a very high cost. Kind of like that change. Still wondering why Fugak doesn't play Altar of Dementia. Probably good. Hey Pi, how you doing? I want to prioritize getting the basic swamp, although it's, you know, yeah, it's gonna be good to play this in case we draw a green fetch next turn. We can also get the basic forest, you know. You think the decks like Blue Moon or Through the Breach could be able to compete with some of the decks from MH2? I do. I specifically think that Blue Moon is maybe in a good spot because Blood Moon is good against Urza's Saga. And then they also, like, if I think one, I've been thinking a bit about Blue Moon myself, and one thing I guess I'm just gonna play Goyf this turn, so let me just not crack the Bauble yet. One card I'm kind of thinking about in the in that deck is something we're gonna play in the later today. A card that I feel like is maybe a little under the radar, but Unholy Heat is 1 mana, 2 damage to target creature, planeswalker, so it kills most 1 mana creatures. And then if you have Delirium, it deals 6 damage instead. So if you can get Delirium with this card, it's going to be really good. It's going to be really good in Blue Moon, which answers a lot of problems that Blue Moon typically has, I think. Liliana's quite good here. They're also drawing a Seasoned Pyromancer. Could dash to kill the Liliana. Hold up push. I feel like I'd rather just play Goyf and play Ragavan. Discard the push. If you attack them and exile Spyro, I don't think like we can't cast the Spyro there. I don't think like playing Lantern Control there is that good. If I could cast it, it's a bit better. Doesn't seem much better than Magmatic Sinkhole. I disagree. I actually think it's a lot better than Magmatic Sinkhole, because Sinkhole you get to play like Blood Moon decks are worse delve decks because their fetch lands don't go to the graveyard as much, and two, they still have Grief in their deck, and two, you can play this card in multiples, whereas before it was very difficult to play a ton of copies of Magmatic Sinkhole. I'll get to kill Liliana. I mean, I'm just definitely discarding Overgrown Tomb here. Land would be great. Black land specifically. I suppose I'll just cast 2 mana Tourach and then Inquisition. It's probably the line. And then if we leave them with Seasoned Pyromancer, my opponent does make my Tourach bigger. So we could take the Bolt here. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. I'm not sure if this is good, though. It's a cool line. They drew another Seasoned Pyromancer. Did they draw land Fatal Push? That would be the nuts. So if they triple block the Tourach, I'll bolt the Seasoned Pyromancer. Tourach has been pretty good. I wonder if we could play a third copy. I kind of like to play a little bit of a higher mana curve. Maybe we'll try to figure out how to do that. Trigger Tourach again. Discarding Grief. Grief, a card that's in our opponent's deck. We've got 1 card left. Fatal Push would be like, that is definitely the card like they need to find here. They found it. Ugh, gross. We have Lurrus, man. But they have a bunch of Seasoned Pyromancers to get tokens back. So let's hope they don't draw a way to answer my Lurrus. Let's hope they just, brick this turn. One thing about Lurrus in this matchup is it does turn on always. They drew Grief. No, and I've been making fun of Grief this whole time. I mean, that was like, of all the discard spells, probably the best one they could have drawn. We do have 2 Unearths in our deck, though, to get Lurrus back at some point in this game. Keep land for Lily. No, play the tap land so you can go Lurrus plus Ragavan next turn. I think is a lot better. Yeah, I kind of like their decision to race 2 with the Seasoned Pyromancer tokens. You can kicker Tourach with Lurrus. Probably maybe not good to cast the Inquisition there. Probably doesn't matter all that much. So we could leave back Tarmogoyf to double block a Grief and Spyro. I think that's probably good to pump their brakes a bit. Is Unholy Heat worth testing as Reach and Traverse Shadow? Well, it doesn't deal damage to players, so it's not Reach, but it is a good card, I think. It is Reach if you're playing Boros Reckoner. They play the mountain we know about. I know it has Menace, and we have 2 creatures to block it with now. That's why, yeah, that's why. I mean, obviously we attack if we don't draw, if we just draw a land there, but we can double block. Monkey. Big draw step for us. Fling would be so good here. So we draw our own monkey. Could maybe have dashed, attacked. I think it's better to just cast. Seal of Fire is good in this deck. I mean, I understand the synergy of Lurrus plus Seal of Fire. I don't know that I don't think I want to play Seal of Fire. But I've played plenty of Lurrus Seal of Fire decks. It's definitely an option. You could maybe play one in the sideboard. Am I doing donos again one of these weeks? One of these weeks. I'm not sure when. We'll figure it out. Got a lot on my plate at the moment. Lurrus and Goyf with Seal. I get it. I get it. I think one Seal of Fire will be fine. I think it's fine not to play it too. Well, double block here, take 6. I mean, I think this is our only play, really. Did you bolt to kill us? Wait, they don't have another Spyro. I thought they had one more Spyro. They also ordered their blockers wrong, but I mean, they might just have 3 damage and they don't need to care that much. Mayday Pro, thank you for 5 months. Have I done Bring to Light Lures with Counterspell yet? No, that's like kind of low on my list because I want to play with the new cards for now. Ignoble isn't good in general if your highest curve is 2. That our highest curve is not 2. We actually have 4 drops in this deck with Kroxa and Tourach, and we also have Lurrus always. But also, my Sentinel, you know, you don't have to be super duper pushy. If you disagree with me, it seems like you're going to disagree. You don't have to just hammer your point home over and over and over again. You can build the deck how you want to build it, and we're also like very early into the testing process here. You know, what's so good about Tourach? It's a powerful 4-mana spell. You can also play on turn 2 that lets you keep Lurrus as a companion. What do you think about a Jund Lurrus Delirium deck with Dragon Race Chandler Grimflayer 2-drop Cascader? I don't like the 2-drop Cascader. I think that you're just gonna hit like Mishra's Bauble too often. I could be wrong, and the card is actually gonna be fine, but I'm not too high on that card. But you could play something like that for sure. My Sentinel, with peace and love, I've asked you to stop being so pushy about your opinions here. Now, this is a very relaxed stream, but if you keep it up, you're gonna get timed out. First league with John. Second, we played against 2 Domain Zoo decks in the last league and went 0-2 drop. And now this league has also been really weird, where we've played against 3 Blackrock decks in a row. Now we're playing against Steamvin's tapped Pass on a Moldify, which makes me think Living End is the most likely thing. I guess I'm going to take a look at the top of their library. If I see Lightning Bolt, I'll probably lead on Hierarch here. They have Crashing Footfall, so it's the Teamer Rhinos deck. So let me lead on the Ragavan. Yeah, it's week 1 of a brand new format. I want to try the new cards. There's no, like, it's okay to talk about tuning the list and changing things, but I just want to try this out, and just being super pushy about your own opinions on how to build the deck is just, it's just a bit much. They suspend the Crashing Footfalls, so they could be main decking Dead Gone to kill my Ragavan. They do have a Fire Ice on top, so I guess I am not casting this Hierarch. Oh, right. I just Ragavan it. So maybe we'll see if we just want to cycle the Fire Ice here or not. Tourach's going to look pretty good next turn, I think. We might just go Inquisition, Thoughtseize. Oh, wow. Their hand is bad. Don't want to cycle the Fire Ice. It's better to get the Hierarch down. Oh, can't resist drawing a card, I think. We can still cast Tourach next turn with the treasure token. They draw a Cascade spell. We are in bad shape. Alright, so there is Force of Negation, 2 mystery cards. Why not cycle their upkeep? You could only cast the Ragavan card until the end of turn. You can only cast the Ragavan card until the end of turn. That seems like the fun thing to do. I don't think we like desperately need to Tourach away Force of Negation and then what's likely not that good of a card. Wolfram, Zulu, thank you for your Twitch Prime subscription. Appreciate you, buddy. Hit Fatal Push. Oh, maybe we shouldn't have put this card in our deck. Is cycle card better than play Tourach versus turn 3? Well, we could still play Tourach turn 3 because we have the treasure token next turn. It's possible that Hierarch was a better line there. I just kind of got a little greedy, I think. Yeah, I think their one unknown card is a land. I'm not 100% sure, of course. So we get their hand empty. They can't Force of Negation this. I mean, they could theoretically have Reduced to Rubble, which is one of my favorite. They had Jace and they couldn't cast it. That's brutal. Things are going so poorly for them here, and they don't even get to Rhinos this turn. They could top deck, back to back like Shardless Agents and get back into this. If you had Footfalls with Monkey, you can cast it. No, you have to pay like normal casting costs and stuff, I think. So we can bring in the Explosives for the Rhinos. I think Explosives is a really good card right now. I would really recommend playing the card in your decks. They're a Cryptic Command deck. The Boil is probably fine too. Not that interested in like the bolts and the pushes. Unearth is probably okay. Voidwalker is maybe good. Voidwalker, like, if we get that in play and they Rhinos, we get to Rhinos back. If it's just in play. Seems fine. Probably leave the Boil at home. Yeah, Tourach's been looking pretty good. I might bolt for Jace. I mean, they only play like 2 Jace, and we have like a ton of other answers to it, just attacking it, of course. Interesting hand. I think we lead on Hierarch, that way we can go Ragavan plus Walker next turn. I guess we can go Ragavan plus Walker on turn 2 anyway. Boil instead of the 4th Dauthi. I think Dauthi's good in this matchup because you get to Rhinos. If this is in play, this is like really good insulation against their Rhino. They mulled a 6 here. If I played against any of the new takes on Affinity, not Scales. I haven't played it against or with them, no. But also, like, the Scales takes are new too, right? It's hard that good when you have, like, no 3s to ramp into. I mean, being able to multi-spell is really relevant, and you do have, like, you always have Lurrus as well as kind of that mana sink for Hierarch, and then it's good with, like, the Monkey as well. I think, I could be wrong, just kind of trying it out, Yeah, exactly, those are new additions to the Scales deck. I would definitely consider them, like... Yeah, Scales deck is definitely feel like it got a big, fresh coat of paint. So Ragavan actually lets us Explosives on 4 to deal with Leyline of Sanctity. Hatarka's high ceiling, low floor card. Yeah, I don't know that the floor is that low, but it's it's low. We lead on the Hierarch. Do you think Blue-Red Control Moon could play Unholy Heat? Yeah, we were just talking about that. Unholy Heat, I feel like, is a card I've been sleeping on. I feel like maybe I just didn't read it fully till yesterday, or I don't know what it was going on, but it wasn't really like on my radar until yesterday. And that card I think is very, very good. Just like 6 damage for 1 mana. not only is incredible for creatures and planeswalkers, answers really everything, but it also like solves a lot of problems that like blue-red decks have where they just can't kill the big creatures. Floor is a 2/1, it's very low. Sure, but it's a 2/1 for 2 mana. That it also grows. It gets bigger, you know. It gets bigger as time goes on. It's definitely a low floor, but it's also like it's not like it's a 4 mana 2/1. It's a 2 mana 2/1. If your opponent's hellbent, and that can get bigger. It has protection from white, which is relevant. Do I think Hierarch will make Dreadhorde Arcanist better in Jund Shells? Maybe. Not too many like 2 mana instants and sorceries to flash back though. There's a few. Oh, that's true. Hierarch doesn't let you flash back bigger spells with Arcanist, but they might like maybe fit in similar shells anyways. But you're right. You're right. What's my opinion on 8-rack? There might be something to 8-rack. Okay, so here I get to go explosives on 0. And then I can cast my own rhinos after that. And then probably play another Voidwalker to get some more rhinos. So let's go 0. And then I guess with another Ragavan drawn, I'll attack. They'll block, but that's okay with us because we have another Ragavan, I think. Voidwalker looking really good. Wait, why didn't they get rhinos? They did. We explosives the rhinos, and then we cast, and then it went to the graveyard for Voidwalker, and we got to Voidwalker their rhinos. And then we can maybe go Lurrus explosives or Lurrus Voidwalker. Should have played that Voidwalker before sacking the other. Why does it matter? Does it matter? I don't think it does. Cam, thank you for your subscription. Appreciate you. Can you snipe the suspended riders of Voidwalker? No, Voidwalker only exiles things with shadow count or void counters, and these are suspended counters, not void counters. It matters because the footfalls would be exiled. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, you're right. I didn't know about the interaction. It does matter. This is GG though. So I think we advanced to 3-1. Beating black-red mid-range, black-white mid-range, losing to black-red mid-range, and then beating rhinos. Also, you know, keep this. Any thoughts of playing one off-color Triumph and putting Kavus in the deck? I think that's definitely something you could do. I mean, there's a huge cost associated with putting Jeskai Triumph in your deck. I think that's the Triumph you'd have to play. But it's not free at all. But it seems like something you could consider. Kavu is a really good card. It's also true, like, if you play Kavu, then, like, your fast lands in general become a lot worse. Yeah, this is a Lurrus deck, P-Worth. Yeah, Jeskai Triumph's a tap mountain, but it makes your Kavus 5/5s if you have Overgrown Tomb. I mean, I think that's the Triumph you would play if you were going to play one Triumph to Kavu people, right? Clearwater Pathway on top. How much are you holding out hope to ice Tron? I mean, I would like to do it. We haven't played against Tron yet, so might not get to. Triple Profane Tutor, Pact of Negation. Well, their hand is pretty good against. I guess I'm taking Pact of Negation. Ooh, maybe we'll play Ragavan Hierarch here. Probably better to get the Goyf down. And then go dash Ragavan plus Hierarch next turn. Yeah, looks like we're playing against Ad Nauseam. People love Ad Nauseam, dude. People will play that deck forever. Probably a fine matchup for them. I just hit City of Brass. Pass it back. So they fire off a Profane Tutor. I imagine that this is going to find them Phyrexian Unlife. Yeah, we're probably not in good shape here, right? Maybe I should have taken the third Profane Tutor. Did they get Wishclaw Talisman? That's a nutty draw. Golly. Darkslick Shores, exiled. Yeah, I mean, I guess Lurrus isn't doing that much, but I'll put it in the hand. I think I would like to try to Assassin's Trophy a Unlife, so I'm gonna try to hold it up for that here. So I think we have to hope that this was what they tutored for, not what they top decked. When I replay Ragavan with Treasure Tokens, Ragavan goes back to the hand at the end of turn, not on your main phase when you dash it. Don't you just lose now? I don't think so. It depends on what they tutored, right? But like, I think that they tutored up Wishclaw Talisman last turn. But I'm not sure that I had another line. And so I think I also want to not Assassin's Trophy. Oh, I guess I need the bolts to put them to 0. But I think I want to wait. I don't like if they have Angel's Grace in their hand, which I don't think that they do. But if they have Angel's Grace in their hand, they might not Angel's Grace until if I bolt them because they have the Unlife, and then we can just trophy the Unlife, and then they die on their turn even through Angel's Grace. Like if they had drawn Oracle or Grace or Beast Spell, you're dead. Yeah, I was, but I don't think I could have. Was I supposed to play around that by trophying the Talisman? I think I just had the hope that this was what they tutored for, and like I feel like this was like a reasonable tutor target. And like I really felt like they were also going to get the Unlife too. But you could be right, and maybe I just got lucky. Don't they wait till their turn to use Wishclaw? Yeah. But yeah, but if this was what they drew and not what they tutored, then we were dead. For sure. Probably not a very good matchup. Explosives are probably fine. Hierarch seems like it's very good in this matchup, probably. Yeah, the one of Assassin's Trophy too. Unlucky for them. How's the connection today? It's been going smoothly so far. So the hotspot that I bought, its speeds are slower than my phone. I think that they're throttling me. So I think what I'm gonna end up doing, I think what I'm gonna have to do is return the hotspot and just buy a second phone, then just use that for streaming. Is Voidwalker just bad? It's still a 3/2. Voidwalker lets you play Angel's Grace? Dude, Voidwalker's nuts then. Yeah, Voidwalker's nuts if you can get Angel's Grace, actually. Good point. The phone also not get throttled? It hasn't been. Like, I think that the data plans for the phones are different than the data plans for the hotspots. But like, I don't think that the phone's getting throttled, no, for whatever reason. Let's keep this. Probably put back the... His hand's pretty bad against a Leyline of the Void if we keep both Thoughtseize, but... Do you play Voidwalker main deck? Maybe. I have 2 main, 2 side right now. Like, I do think it's kind of weak in some matchups. Thank goodness for no Leyline. Or, sorry, thank Clothis for no Leyline. No pressure is awkward, but I think we definitely keep this on 6 cards. 2 a month for the phone bill. I mean, I think, like, honestly, I would be, like, very, very happy if I could pay 200 months to have perfect internet that never crashes. I would, like, very happily pay that. I do not have fiber in the area, no. Do not. I guess we'll take the Profane Tutor because we have Ancient Grudge. We can grudge the Talisman and then the Bloom. Grudge is looking good. Maybe we should add a second Grudge. Grudge maybe good against the Saga decks too. If there's anything a werewolf hates, it's a collar, especially Avacyn's collar, the symbol of her church. I cry every time I read that. So they showed us that they top decked to Sea Chrome Coast here. I think I'm just gonna upkeep Grudge the Bloom. If there's anything a Spike hates, it's an Eldrazi, especially if it's a 3-2 for 3, the symbol of Etron. Yep. That would be my flavor text for sure. Love to see Angel's Grace here. Thoracle. Dude, let's combo off. Let's get 3 Voidwalkers and Spoils of the Vault, Angel's Grace, Oracle. That would be an achievement. That would be an achievement. I think I'm going to wait a turn on the Thoughtseize here. Pretty sure I'm supposed to... Let's start on Thoughtseize. Let's start on Thoughtseize, but... I think I'm supposed to Voidwalker the Thoracle to just replay Voidwalker with Lurrus. We're 1 card away. I mean, we need more Voidwalkers to actually get to do it. So, I mean, I think this is a bit better. It would be crazy. Oh, we don't have enough black mana, actually. Oh, I should have attacked. Oops. Thought we had 1 more black mana. Yeah, I should have attacked. Well, you have to tap to Thoracle. You have to tap the Voidwalker to cast the spell. Okay, the draw step was Lotus Bloom. Sadly, I think we're going to kill our opponent before we get to live the dream. I guess I could... Nah, never mind. Can't you just use them? Use what? Sarah Visions was pretty bad. Sadly, we're just gonna kill him. Alright, 4-1. Only lost, like, every match we won all our games too. Lost to red-black mid-range deck. I don't know if there's deck text left. You can just see if the channel point option is available.